Hey everybody, Tony Johnson here, Customer Experience Leader. It is 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means it's time for the Great Service Comeback. Coming to you live every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to talk to you about the Great Service Comeback, how you can really take the behaviors and translate them into your brand messaging, and again, how you can take great care of your people and your customers. So as we get started today, I have a tremendous podcast on the docket for this week. You can find it on Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can find it on Apple and Google Podcasts, but go ahead and search Customer Service Academy, or you can go find it also on my website, igniteyourservice.com. But please take a moment to check that out because I had a great interview last week with healthcare professional Angie Panuti, and this week I'm going to talk a lot more about some other really relevant topics as we think about what things are looking like as we reopen America. So, that said, I want to bring up a news story that I heard today, and I was going to talk about safety. And I know safety is indeed the most important thing we can ever talk about, but I want to also couch it inside of some other pieces that might also bring some additional relevance. Not that we need to talk really any more about safety because everyone knows how important it is. But the news article I saw this morning said that 50%, and this was in LA, in Los Angeles, the Board of Health Inspectors and some of those folks visited 2,000 restaurants in the Los Angeles area. 1,000 of them, that's right, 50% were not meeting the standards for the social distancing, for the safety and sanitation, for all the things that have been put in place as a part of the reopening of American economy. So that was kind of sad, and that actually harkened back, I think, to some things we need to talk about. Because if you really think about safety, it really translates more into trust than it does, really into anything else, because all you have out there is your reputation. So when we think about how safety impacts that, and we're talking about all kinds of things, have you, spaced your tables out 6 feet? That was something some people got nailed on. Are you making sure that your folks are wearing the proper face coverings? Are you requiring your guests, your customers, to wear face coverings? All of these things translate into what your reputation around safety is going to be. So the first thing I want to talk about is indeed your reputation. So it's the only thing truly as a business owner that you own. Your reputation out there in the universe is what decides whether or not people want to come and visit you or not. Will they come back or not? Will they say nice things about you as customers and consumers or not? So your reputation is so very important. And really, it takes years, decades even, to grow an amazing reputation, but it can take just an instant to kill a reputation. I spent a lot of time in the hospitality and restaurant and retail businesses, and one foodborne illness outbreak could kill a restaurant. One slip, trip, fall in a retail establishment, one incidence of bed bugs in a hotel, and you're done, right? So some of these things are so very important, and there are no do-overs. So just know that as we reopen, as all the businesses across the country are deciding what their normal is going to look like, you have to make sure you're getting it right, because you want your business to have that reputation of saying, what, we get it. We are, putting these standards into place. And let's face it, nobody likes to wear the mask, okay? Nobody once woke up and said, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to wear this mask for 8-10 hours in a day. Nobody ever said that. But it's something we have to do, and we have to find ways to make it palatable for our teams and for our guests, and we all have to do it together. The next part is about trust. So cleanliness, sanitation, safety, all of these things build trust within a brand. If we think about the cruise industry and the beating that they have taken over the years, whether it was, the flu outbreak or whether it was rotavirus or whether it's now the COVID-19, cleanliness, safety, sanitation, I don't know how long it's going to take the cruise industry to come back, but probably it's going to be longer than 15 minutes. So be sure that you are protecting your reputation, because the second you become the place that somebody went and got sick, somebody fell down, somebody got ill, somebody got a product that wasn't worth the money, or a substandard product, or a raw cheeseburger, that happens one time and word of mouth gets out and the trust in your brand begins to erode. And brand trust, well, I'll tell you what, you cannot put a price tag on that. That is something that every brand out there works so very hard on, is what it means to trust them as a brand. And then when we think about how we bring this to light, it's about training and validation. There is no other way around it. Have you covered your standards with your team? Have you gone out and talked to them about what it means to wear the mask, what it means to enforce your policies, what it means to make sure that guests are staggered 6 feet apart? Have you covered that and why it's important? Also, are you out there as a leader, walking around, touring your locations, validating that things are really happening? Because not once did anyone ever say, do that, and then it automatically kept on going over and over again with nobody checking in on it. So you've got to make sure that you're inspecting these core values that you're instilling and training in your teams, because if you don't, I promise you, they will absolutely just fall by the wayside if nobody's watching, because the path of least resistance for your team members most often is to do what's easiest. It's not easiest to wear a mask, to go hassle customers to stay 6 feet apart, to make sure everything's spaced out properly. That's not the easy way. So just make sure that you are rewarding, celebrating, and validating all these key moves that you've trained to. And then finally, do you actually know what your rules are? That was something that the news story kind of brought to bear as I was reading about this LA situation, was many of the managers claimed ignorance. Now, some of that obviously was folks just trying to get out of jail free, if you will. But in other instances, chances are they may not have known the rules. They may not have gone to the websites and viewed the videos. They may not have checked out the Opening of America on the US Gov website. They may not know what their local, district, and county rules are and what the states have put in as a part of the reopening plans. Shame on them for not knowing. So we all need to make sure we know what the rules are. And that's the hard part. If you're a large company operating across the country, maybe even across the world, you probably have to understand many, many different sets of rules. It's the price, it's the price everybody pays who work in large and diverse organizations, and those that are spread out across the country and the world. You've got to know more than just one set of rules, most likely. So make sure that you are sharing those out and that you understand yourself. So, again, this is about trust. This is about a responsibility to the public. This is about training, validating, and rewarding behaviors. And that, friends, is the only way that we can absolutely make sure that we're keeping our customers and our teams safe throughout this reopening process. And that will protect your reputation and build trust in your brand well beyond anything you could ever get through advertising or promotion. So until next time, I'm Tony Johnson, your customer experience leader. Please make sure that you tune in on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check out my podcast. And if you need a little more oomph in your life, check out my website, igniteyourservice.com/comeback, and you can actually sign up for a free 45-minute coaching session to talk about where you are, where you want to go, and how we can get there together. Keep your teams and your employees and your families and your customers safe, and keep them, as always, at the center of everything you do. I'll talk to you on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.